Hey there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
And I'm Sam and I'm a non-gamer.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at New Kingdom Gardeners by New Kingdom Games.
New Kingdom Gardeners is a game that is coming to Kickstarter, so make sure to check out the link down below in the description of this video after you've watched it. And we've also done a how to play and a playthrough video on this game. And if you want to check out those videos, make sure to click the I in the top right corner. So what is going on in this game? Well, you are a gardener and you have been tasked by the master gardener to take care of your garden as best you can and make sure that you plant fruit-bearing seeds and get rid of all those pesky thorns. This has got some interesting hand management and tableau building mechanics built into it, where you're going to be passing cards around and cards are going to be moving off your tableau and onto your opponent's tableaus. Let's check out how it works down below, and then we'll come back and share thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer. All right, here's New Kingdom Gardeners on the table. I do want to make sure you know that everything you see here is prototype. The final artwork components and maybe even some of the rules may change once it's released from crowdfunding. That being said, let's get into this game. What you have here, you've got some really nice player boards. You have some fruit resources that come in 1s and 5s. That's the difference between the yellow and the purple. And you also have doves. Doves are going to act as a resource in the game that allow you to do activations with your gardener and workers. And ultimately in this game, what you are trying to do is you're trying to load up your garden here with workers that will do work for you, basically. Plant good seeds into your garden that will get you victory points. And you want to avoid having thorns in your garden, because those will cost you victory points at the end of the game. Now, every player is going to have a gardener. Let me flip these around so you can see. These gardeners are all going to let you do the same basic actions of pray, plant, prune, or appoint, but they will also give you an ability specific to whichever gardener you are dealt at the beginning of the game. I'll encourage you to check out the campaign page to check out what all of these different abilities do. Here's an example, though. Brother Advantus allows you to collect thorns you prune from your own garden. Normally, you can only collect thorns you prune from someone else's garden, but he will allow you to collect thorns out of your own garden. So he's going to be our gardener here for explaining how this game works. And I do want to reiterate, I mentioned this at the top of the video, you can check out our full how to play video, which will explain all the rules in detail by clicking that I that was at the beginning of the video. This is just a simple overview. So, how a turn is going to work in this game: you are going to use your doves to activate the cards that are on your board to be able to plant new cards, remove cards you don't want, and get more workers on your board. In more detail, how a game is going to work: you'll place a dove pretty much every time on your gardener to be able to do actions that are listed down here. Now, you don't have to use all your doves, but you would more than likely want to use all of them. And we'll cover what these basic actions are real quick. So, the pray action is very simple. You are just going to draw 2 cards from the main deck. The main deck are going to have all sorts of different cards in it, but you will draw 2 cards. So if I drew these 2 cards, I've got a seed here and I've got a thorn. Now, thorns you're going to have to play immediately, and you're going to plant them here in your garden. This is your garden right here. You've got 3 slots for it for seeds and thorns, as it says right there. And you can see that it says plant here. So I always have to plant in that spot. Now, if there's already a card in that spot and I want to plant maybe this seed, then I have to scoot that card down to the right and place the new card there. And again, on a later turn, if I drew another thorn, let's say, then I have to slide everything down and plant here. In the event that I have all 3 spots filled, again, I still have to slide the cards over, plant the new card in the first spot, and this card that came off of the board is going to be handed to the player on my right, and they will have to plant it in their garden. Getting another player board out here, they will have to plant it in their garden. This is called the creeping rule, and this is how the cards get passed around from garden to garden. And if this player had a fully stocked garden, they would have to move everything over and move whatever card moved off their board to the player on their right. And this would continue around the table until it came back around to me, at which point I would take this card from the player on my left, and since I'm the one who activated the creeping rule, I just discard this card. I don't put it in my garden. That is how you would pray. That's also how you would plant. So if I'm going to do the plant action, I take a card that's already in my hand, such as this seed here, and again, I shift everything down and I would plant it, and we would do the creeping roll all over again. And you can see how this is a way to get rid of bad cards from your garden, but it's also going to be how you lose good cards out of your garden. So you want to play with this cleverly to where you are losing the cards you don't want and hopefully not losing the cards you do want, because these are worth points at the end of the game. So that's the pray and plant action. The prune action is going to allow me to remove thorns out of my garden. Now, I have to pay 2 fruit in order to do that. And so you keep what fruit you have to be able to use on your turn right up here in this box. So I would pay 2 fruit and I would be able to remove this off my board, because otherwise this is going to cost me 3 points at the end of the game. So I would rather pay 2 points to save 3 points at the end of the game. And these are points. This is your currency, but it's also your victory points in the game. And so that is how you prune. Now, you can prune a thorn from somebody else's board, and the reason why you would maybe want to do that is because when you prune from somebody else's board, you get to take that thorn and set it to the side of your player board, and these are going to give you 3 points at the end of the game. So I would pay 2 fruit to gain 3 fruit, essentially. Now, we mentioned earlier that Brother Adventus allows you to also collect thorns you prune from your own garden. That's his special ability. Now, another reason why you might want to prune something out of another player's garden, a thorn, is because, say, for instance, the player that's sitting to my left, they have a thorn here right on their last spot. That's going to get pushed over into my garden anyhow, and I don't want to take on their thorn, so I might prune it for them. That way, I don't have to take it when the creeping rule goes into effect, and plus, I'll get 3 points for having done so. So you need to be very clever about how you prune. The last thing you could do with a gardener is a point, and that is going to allow you to simply take a worker that's in your hand and place them in one of your worker spots up here. Now, you can have 4 different types of workers at any time in the game, but let's say that you do have a worker that matches another type of worker, such as this fisher right here. I've already got a fisher over here, and I can place another fisher on top of a fisher. This is called creating a team, and I'm going to earn extra bonus fruit for having done that, depending on how many team workers are already in this team. If I add the 3rd worker to a team, I'm going to get more bonuses than if I had added just the 2nd one. Now, teams can only reach a maximum of 4, and so you want to try to get your teams up to 4 if possible. You can also appoint, again, appoint is playing a worker from your hand to a worker spot. You can appoint a worker from your hand onto another player's board, helping them to form a team, and you will get even more bonus fruit and doves. This is how you get more doves in the game, by helping them, giving them a team. And so you are giving up some victory points to do that, but it's also letting you get victory points and doves. Doves are very important. You need doves to be able to do actions. Now, I mentioned you're placing doves on your gardener to be able to do the pray, plant, prune, or appoint action, but you may also place doves on top of workers or teams of workers to be able to do the actions that are listed on those cards. I'll leave you to discover what those actions do, but just know that they are going to help you prune out some things in your garden, get points for the cards that are in your hand, and put more points on the stuff that's already in your garden. They're going to let you do lots of good things. And when you have a team of workers, you can put lots of doves on the same set of workers to do the action time and time and time again. That's the gist of this game. The game also has 3 miracle cards, which are going to come at random times in the game as they are shuffled into this deck. And when they pop up, they will be played immediately, and they'll go into a player's garden. Whoever best meets this criteria, such as the one who has the least number of workers, they'll get the mercy card. And you'll have to choose whether you want to put this in your seed thorn row in your garden, or you could place it up here where your workers are. But you you want to try to hold on to these miracle cards because they're worth good points, but they could come off your board through the creeping rule if you're not careful. The game will end whenever the Master Gardener arrives, which is this card, and it is shuffled into the bottom 10 cards of the draw deck. And so you'll never be quite sure how long the game is going to go, and when it does come out, that will indicate this is the last round of the game, and you will then go to final scoring. So you'll get points for whatever fruit you have left over up here. You'll get points for the cards that give you points as printed on the top left of the cards. You'll lose 3 fruit for any thorns that are still on your board, and any thorns that you pruned out of other players' gardens that you kept over here to the side, those will be worth 3 points to you at the end of the game. Whoever has the most points at the end is going to be the winner, and that is how you play New Kingdom Gardeners. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this one. And we're back, and now we're going to share our brief thoughts on New Kingdom Gardeners from a gamer and non-gamer's perspective. So again, you guys can check out our playthrough video and see how this game works and kind of how lively the experience was. I felt like saying this was a very lively experience.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interaction with the other players because cards are going to be flying around. I shouldn't say flying, they're moving around the board, and you are going to be seeing a lot of action take place in a turn with this game. What did you think about it as a non-gamer?
Yeah, I mean, it was very easy to learn. We played with, I'd say, another gamer and non-gamer couple. And everybody seemed to understand the rules fairly easily. You do have to pay attention to what's going on other people's boards, which is not my strong suit in other games. I'm very tunnel vision on what's going on with my stuff. But I think it makes it fun to play with other people because it is very interactive and social. Yeah, you definitely do have the social aspect with this game because you will be talking about how you didn't want that card, that seed or that miracle card coming off your board and going to your opponent, or you wanted to pass that thorn off to them. And so there's a lot of, oh, why did you do that? Oh, thank you moments in this game. And it's not really take that. I know take that mechanics are things that typically don't work so great with non-gamers. This game isn't take that. It's more so cleverly managing your garden and your tableau and making sure you reserve those cards, keep those, protect those cards while trying to get rid of the cards you don't want. So you mentioned that this is a game that's not too complicated for you to play. Can you talk a little bit more about that? I mean, the cards are very self-explanatory. The game management is fairly simple. It's exciting, but at the same time, it's simple enough to grasp it quickly. Yeah, I'll agree with that 100%. It's a very simple, straightforward concept. The mechanics are clever and innovative. I don't know that I've seen it too much in other games before, what you've got going on in this game. So it's a new idea. It's a fresh take on hand management and tableau building. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really breath of fresh air is the way I like to describe it. So that is New Kingdom Gardeners. It is from New Kingdom Gaming. It is on Kickstarter, so make sure to check out the link down below after you've watched it and leave us some comments down below. Let us know what you think about this game. Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content. I'm Lance. I'm Sam. And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.